Eileo guys, and welcome back. So today is finally the day, where I will be reviewing my own personal account for all of you guys to judge and probably make fun of because I've done plenty of account reviews and I've said done this, I've said do this and do that, but you guys haven't really seen my mom box. This video I will divide up into two sections though, because this video may or may not be super duper long, but I'll be doing my RGB first, and then in the next video I will also be doing my light and dark, and we'll just take a look at my storage and I'll give you guys my feedback on what I'm doing. And feel free to call me out, feel free to make you some Eileo exposed videos, whatever, just have fun. But today we will start off with the fires. And right now we have Fire Leo as the first one. He is on a ruin set, which is attack, which that one has some great crit rate on it. It does have recovery, not really important, but he's on attack with a whole bunch of crit rate. He is on attack again with a little bit of crit rate and a little bit of HP. Not the best gem in the world. And then he has a crit rate gem. Again, recovery up there, not really want it, but the defense 22% is pretty darn solid. He is not at max crit. He is missing what, 3% until max crit, so he's sitting at 97%. Doesn't really have any resist either. His trinkets, you guys will judge me for my trinkets, but I haven't invested anything at all in the trinkets, and you will surely see that. But as you guys can tell, mine is super evoed. He is also fully booked up because I use him a lot. Definitely a great mon. Definitely a great mon. I have no real complaints about him. I don't use him in a PvP situation. I use him strictly PvE, mainly in, I wouldn't even say Tower of Chaos, but mainly for clan versus clan, and, you know, farming out dragons. Dragons B9, if not dragons, but dragons B9? No, is it dragons B8? The wood dragon. Whatever the wood dragon is, I use him there, and I also used to use him back in the day in, not dragons B9, but golems B9, but predominantly he's there for dragons, clan versus clan, and just having fun with. That's why he doesn't have any resist on him. But overall, great mon to have. If I could somehow finish up getting his percent for his crit to 100, that would be splendid. But as of right now, I haven't really touched him because it's freaking close enough, and I feel like he doesn't miss his crits anyways, so why fix what's not broken? But great mon to have if you don't have a Leo, especially a Fire Leo. Great mon to have as a hard-hitting Firemon. Next up we have Scubbus over here. She was partially skill booked, but I did run out of books for her. Hopefully I'll get more in the future. She's not on the best set in my opinion. I don't really find her as useful as I did when I first started the game, even with her super evolution, but she's okay. She has an attack gem over here, and this is on a ruin set, not a ruin set, but an intuition set. Great crit rate on it, a little bit of resist, a little bit of crit damage. Then a crit rate gem with 13.5% attack on it, a little bit of crit damage, and then HP with a little bit of resist on it. Definitely not optimal. I would love to run Succubus on a ruin set with the same amount for her crit rate. Just give her a little bit boost in damage because her damage isn't amazing. It's nice that she can survive and then debuff, but overall her damage isn't something that I find appealing. At least at my point in the game, I don't really find it appealing, but that's my Succubus. I would love to, you know, at least get more, not crit subs on her, but I would love to take off that HP gem somehow and maybe supplement that with trinkets in the future. I'm not a trinket expert though, so don't judge me too hard on that aspect. And then we have Fire Anu over here, who I super evoed. Obviously no skill books for this dude. He needs skill books in my opinion. But he's rocking some HP with some crit rate on it. It's a broken set. HP with a little bit of resist on it and some defense. And then HP with some more crit rate on it and a little bit of defense as well. He is an HP aggressor, hence why he has triple HP on him. Honestly, I don't really find him useful. I decided to invest in him as just having fun. But his stun at 70% chance for one turn is not that great. As a tank type, his damage is non-existent. If his stun doesn't go off, I feel like he's pretty much useless, but I was like, hey man, I want to have all the versions of the new Super Evo that I have, so I just Evo'd him. So not really a great mon. I don't regret my investment. I just wish that he had a better stun. Next up is my Fire Wild Fang, which I have 1 skill book for at the moment. She does have a square slot, definitely not needed on her, but it can't hurt at all. And level 5 for her variant skill. And she's rocking, I believe, triple attack. So that one has some resist on it. That one has some crit rate on it, a little bit of HP and defense for that attack gem. And then the last one has some crit rate on it and a little bit of HP once again. Obviously, these gems aren't optimal. I predominantly use her in clan versus clan. Do I use her anywhere else? I don't use her in Tower of Chaos. I don't use her in Colossus. So pretty much clan versus clan and maybe dragons. So she's not a predominantly big mon that I use, but she is getting a super evolution soon. Perhaps if I can get some more skill books for her, I would definitely try and use her a little bit more. But there's just so many mons that I use already, and there's so much content where I don't really use fire mons because I have others. But definitely a great mon to have regardless. Next up is my Fire Mowgli over here. She's rocking that 95% crit rate. What's her lead skill? Okay, boosts attack power for fire mons. But she's triple square master race. This is the 5-star gem, which is not super duper serious, not super duper bad, but always could be better. But this one has crit rate on it and some resist. This one, of course, is a crit rate gem. A little bit of crit damage on it. The rest are just flats. And then the last one is another attack gem with some crit damage on it. A little bit of defense. Not optimal, but it does the job. And she does have Hunter, so she needs that 100% crit rate for her damage to actually be applied for her Hunter. Or, as Eileo likes to say, you're wasting your time if that mon can't crit and he has a move that is reliant on crit. You're wasting your time if he can't crit. But overall, great mon to have. I freaking love Mowgli. I was not a big fan of her when she first came out because I was like, oh, look, another freaking Fennec rehash. But she blows Fennec out of the water. Get her skill booked up and she hits like a truck. She hits like a truck. If I could get mine on a ruin set one day, that would be lovely. As of right now, she does do her job. I do use her in the Wood Dragon as well with my Fire Leo. She is used in clan versus clan. And that's pretty much it for her. The next we have my Fire Sig over here. I just run him in the story, hence his siphon set being the way it is. No real trinket investment because like I said earlier in the video, I don't invest too much into trinkets right now. I probably should, but I'm just lazy. But he's on, what is it, crit rate attack attack? Yep, crit rate attack. Nope, crit rate attack HP. So I ended up giving him my leftover gems after I took them off of him and I gave him the Draka. So what he has on now is just to complete a siphon set, which if you guys are just starting out and you're trying to get mons on a siphon set, then I definitely implore you to use whatever. And I could swap that out right now. I'll go ahead and swap that out right now. I implore you to use whatever siphon gems you get, whether it's percentage or flat, as long as you got a siphon set enabled. And as long as you hopefully have at least one good gem on him, he should be good to go. And I mean, one good gem, like maybe a percentage for his attack, you should be good to go until you can get more. But even a siphon set like this, which isn't anywhere near perfect, even though I do have other gems now from doing dragons this weekend, it isn't perfect, but it does work. I'll change that after the video because actually, yeah, I'll change that after the video. I mean, I do use him in story for farming purposes, but that's pretty much it, and he's been doing great with that setup anyways. But moving on, somehow I skipped him and went to Mowgli first. We have a Fire Canneling over here. I have him fully skill booked up. He is triple triangle master race because he's like the first Firemon. I think I got to Evo 3 when I first began the game, and I've kept him ever since. But he's on attack, HP. Nothing really remarkable about his gems. A little bit of crit rate, a little bit of resist and crit damage. That one has a little bit of crit damage and defense, and then that one has some recovery, crit rate, and defense. Nothing remarkable about him. His main purpose was just debuffing, especially when I first started B9. Golem's B9, way back in the day. I might use him in Titans at some point in time. Other than that, he doesn't really have a use. I've outgrown him, but I do still keep him around because, come on, dude. Look at that. Look at that. Look at it, and I respect it. And next up, we have a Fire Brawn. Yes, an Evo 3 Fire Brawn. I'm not sure how many of you guys have joined currently within like the last year, but I believe like last year prior to this one, sometime in July or something, I made a video where I raised an Evo 3 Fire Brawn to level 60, and I tried him out in B9, and I found out that he was indeed viable as a B9 Mon only, so I decided just to keep him. He is on a resist set just to have resist on him, but he has okay subs on this gem. For his attack gem, he has some defense, and he has some crit rate as well. The next one is a little bit more crit rate and mainly resist with some attack. And then the last one, kind of a little bit lackluster, but some crit rate on it and some defense. But overall, definitely an underrated Mon. I do wish he had books. His predominant use is just his 3-star skill for that Predator. And he's on HP attack, I believe. Yep, he's on HP attack. His damage isn't as bad as I thought it would be. I think why I kept him around is just because, why not? You got to have some fun in this game, man. You got to have some fun, so why not use him? I mean, surprisingly, he doesn't hit 1 mil in Titans, but he can pull off close to 1 mil sometimes, depending on the Titan. But that's not saying much. Next up, we have my Fire Ramu over here, who I predominantly use, I only use him as the SP Siphon in one of the clauses where you need an SP Siphoner. That's his only use. He is on an intuition set. As to why he's on an intuition set, why not? But it looks like I put it on him because his skills require you to have max crit. So if you don't have max crit, then congratulations, you're playing yourself because he can't do his job. But he's on HP, crit rate, and attack. I don't really find his damage amazing at all. Even though he's fully skill booked up, his damage isn't amazing at all. His only selling point is his SP Siphon for Colossus, and that's pretty much Fire Ramu. So haters gonna hate, man, but he gets the job done. Next up is my Fire Neza. No books for her either, but she's on a conviction set. This is defense gem with a whole bunch of resist on it and some crit rate. And then the HP gem with a little bit resist on it. Some attack, doesn't really matter too much, and some crit damage. And then her last one is HP again with some crit rate on it and some defense and crit damage, because it seems like the conviction gems are always the best ones for crit rate for some reason. At least in my luck. The rest are all just freaking recovery or flat, whatever. But she does her job. She's there to mainly debuff, hence why she has the high resist on her. Not the best resist in the world, but definitely not bad, 66%. But again, her main selling point is just to debuff, and that's what she does in, I want to say Titans. I can't remember all of my Mons because I just hit the button and go. But her predominant use is Titans. I don't use her anywhere else. There's no real need to. Then we have a Fire Cupid over here. He's rocking that broken set, which is HP with a whole bunch of resist on it. Then he has a recovery gem with some resist on it and some attack on it, getting that damage, man. And then he has a defense gem with some resist on it. Eventually, I would love to get him off that recovery gem and maybe do HP defense instead and get the recovery from a defense gem. But honestly, I haven't been working on that. I haven't really been focused on that. So maybe in the future, I'll change it. As of right now, he does his job as just being a healer in Titans. And I also use one in the Wood Dragon as well. As a healer, they do their job there. He doesn't get destroyed. He doesn't get stunned or whatever. And I couldn't be more happier with him. But in the future, I would love to get some recovery percentages on his subs so I could take that recovery gem off of him. Next up is my Fire Miho. I think I used her in Titans in the beginning because of her attack down, but now I don't think I use her as much. She is fully booked though, and with the attack down 8%, that's definitely not bad. But she's on a ruin set because YOLO. But this ruin set is HP, and defense. Adrenaline scales off of what? Her HP. Okay, adrenaline scales off her HP, so maybe I could do her triple HP. Do I really see a point at it? At this point in time, no. I put a ruin set on her because you gotta live a little. Maybe I'll get some damage out of her considering she's a tank. I won't really get any damage out of her, but oh well, you guys. I was trying to make an attack Miho, and you guys could see how well that went. It didn't go well at all. At all. Good Mon, but 433 kind of set us up with making her like the Pikachu of the game and saying, hey, build a Fire Miho, because this Mon is useful for like Titans and debuffing and won't really help you in the story unless you want to clear something out in like 80 minutes. But oh well. Then we have another Fire Cupid over here. This one has a little bit more crit rate, a little bit less resist, but he's rocking that HP with a nice percentage for the recovery, some defense and some crit rate. Then a defense gem with some crit rate on it. It always happens for the healers. And then another one with some HP on it, a little bit of resist and a little bit of crit rate. Crit rate again isn't needed. I think he's on an intuition set because I was like, why not? I have the gems. Why not? Is it optimal? No. I would love some more recovery percentages on him, but as of right now, his HP defense gets the job done. It gets the job done. Next up is Fire Katine, coming in with some resist. My boy is fully booked up. Level 6 for his variant skill. He is on a conviction set, rocking some defense with some recovery percentage and some attack. And then he's rocking some HP with some crit rate on it, because you know them Fire Katines be hitting hard. They be doing it to him. And then we have a recovery gem with some resist on it and some HP. Again, like I said, for Fire Cupid, one day I would love to switch over. Have I been working on it? No. But great mind to have. Especially for those trying to break into dragons. Not dragons B9, I keep saying dragons. But if you're trying to break into golems B9 and you need a healer, great mod to have. I also use him in Titans because of that attack up. Other than that, no real uses for him, but definitely worth the investment. You can buy him from the Shady Shop at Evo 1, so make sure you pick him up. Next up is my Fire Jacka over here, which if you guys saw on the live stream Friday, my boy Badass Panda helped me out because I was having a little bit of mental incapabilities. But he's on a Siphon set. He's rocking triple attack at the moment, which I do need to get better gems for him. But 5-star attack gem is a Siphon set. Don't hate, man. Use what you can use. Whole bunch of recovery. Doesn't really matter. Again, 5-star attack gem. A little bit of crit rate on it. And then after that, he has a 6-star attack gem with, again, some recovery on it. A little bit of crit rate, a little bit of defense, and a little bit of crit damage on him. He's on triple attack. At this moment in time, I don't use him for my story farming because I already have 3 mons that I use for story farming, plus the other mon that I'm normally leveling up. I do use him in Golems B10. I do use him in Tower of Chaos because he just makes Tower of Chaos a joke. I do use him sometimes in PvP, but I'm not a big PvP guy. But other than that, he does his job. He doesn't have to have resist because he's PvE only. Maybe if I was going to run him in a PvP situation, he should have some resist. But again, he's PvE only. He does his job. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Next up, we have my Fire Wukong over here, pushing the resist to the limit. Why is his resist to the limit? I don't know. I don't know. He's on a broken set anyways, but he has an attack gem with a whole bunch of resist on it and some crit rate. And then he has an HP gem with some resist on it, some defense on it, and then again some more crit rate. And then he has an attack gem with some resist on it, a little bit of crit damage. So he's on HP attack. I think this set is pretty much set in stone for him right now until I can get a better leech set on him, which I do have stuff for leech, I do believe. I have some stuff for leech. But as you can tell, I have a defense gem for leech and an HP gem for that one. I need more of the diamond to figure out a leech set for him. So for right now, this set is what it is. I use him in Colossus. I used him in Titans, and that's pretty much it. Next up is my Fire Verde. And I know you guys are like, wow, Eileo, you're not judging your mons as hard as you judge anyone else's. Well, these mons aren't really ones that I use a ton. But the ones that I use a ton, I would definitely go ham on those. But this is just showing you guys the mod box in my own personal account review. But anyways, Fire Verde over here, she is on a leech set. I definitely need some more books for her because she's in the process of getting skill booked up. But I need more books. Hopefully she comes back. Hopefully she comes back. But she's on a leech set with attack. 7% resist, not really much there. Another attack gem with some good defense on it and some good HP. And then a crit rate gem with some resist and some crit damage. Overall, 64% crit rate on it. Definitely not high, but I figured, hey man, if she crits, I can get some good damage out of her. If she doesn't crit, it's not the end of the world because I could always replace that gem with an HP gem. But as far as I can tell, she does pretty good in Titans. Maybe I'll one day go back and tweak her, but she does good. So you can do crit rate attack if you want. You can do HP attack if you want. Whatever works for you on leech though. Next up is Fire Incubus. He wasn't as good as I thought he would be. I know he's a balanced type, and he has slightly more base attack than Verde, but number one, he's critical hit reliant. So he needs max crit rate to do anything, and mine is on a ruin set with crit rate, attack, and then HP. The HP there is there for survival, but the crit rate gem has a little bit of attack on it, a whole bunch of defense on it, which is lovely. The next one, his attack gem has some crit rate on it, some HP on it, a little bit of crit damage, and a little bit of recovery. And then the final one has some HP on it, and it comes with a little bit of attack, a little bit of recovery, a little bit of crit rate, and a little bit of crit damage. Not optimal. He's missing, what, 6% for his crit, unfortunately, so he does need a crit lead. Very, very close to the crit cap for especially a ruin set. Hardly any resist. Maybe if I work on his gems a little bit better, he will be better overall, but at this point in time, I'm definitely a bigger fan of Verde. I would love to get him on a leech set, but getting max crit on a leech set is a lot more difficult than even getting it on ruin, because dragons is just a scam. But it is what it is. Alright, moving on. We have Fire Shinobi over here at Evo 2. He's on a leech set, which is what I love to have. He's on maybe triple attack or HP attack. 5-star HP attack gem with some crit rate on it, a little bit of crit damage, a little bit of resist, and a little bit of recovery. Next is another 5-star gem of leech with attack on it, with a little bit of defense on it, some recovery, flat attack, and then a little bit of crit rate on him. And then the last gem is some more attack, a 6-star gem with some crit rate on it, a little bit of resist, and a little bit of defense. So he's currently on triple attack. Definitely have no complaints about him. I actually chose him as my Nat 5 selection card because I've never gotten a Fire Shinobi ever. I believe I've pulled maybe a water one. Maybe I've pulled a wood one. I can't remember. I know I've definitely pulled a water one, but that's been it. But great mod to have, especially for Titans. Amazing damage. My real only complaint for him is that I would love to have him with some more crit rate on him just to get some damage out of him. His resist isn't the best and his crit rate isn't the best, so I definitely want to improve on that in the future. but I definitely won't regret him as a Nat 5 selection card. If I get another selection card, I will definitely get him because it's freaking Fire Shinobi. You can never have enough Fire Shinobis unless you have 16 already, and even then, why stop at 16 when you can go for 32? Why stop? Next up is my first Fire Arthur that I've ever pulled. He was my select Nat 5 in the beginning of the game for the contract. I think the 15-day contract, because at that time I didn't have really good Fire Mons to begin with, and I love the way Arthur looks. Big fan of his design. He looks super duper OG. Even got him this costume because why not? I think Arthur looks awesome. I know I might be the only one, but Arthur looks awesome. But he's on a broken set, repping some HP with a little bit of crit rate on it. Attack with some recovery on it. Definitely not a good gem. Definitely not a good gem. I probably put this on him when I first began the game and it was like, he's done. And then attack gem with some recovery on it again. And nothing else to bring to the table. So I definitely need to rework this Arthur. I do still use him when I need a stunner, especially sometimes in Tower of Chaos if I'm feeling cheeky and I don't want to use my Water Sura. I want a little bit more attack because of his defense down. Definitely not a bad mon to have. I'm thinking about working towards getting him to Evo 3. Not this specific one, but another one that I pulled recently. Getting him to Evo 3 just because I just love the way that he looks. I love his stance. And it's freaking Arthur, man. But other than that, I don't use him in PvP. I don't use him anywhere else other than clan versus clan and occasionally to have chaos. But definitely a great mod to have, especially for new players in the beginning. But he does kind of taper off quite quickly because while his stun is great and his defense down is great, there's other mons that do way more damage than him, in my opinion, even with HP attack on him. So that's something to keep in mind for newer players out there. Next up we have my Fire Odin, who's rocking a broken set as well. She's rocking some HP with a little bit of resist and some attack because I'm making an attack Odin. She has some defense on her for her next gem with some crit rate, a little bit of crit damage, and a decent amount of resist on it. And then last we have another HP gem with a little bit of defense on it, some decent crit rate on it, and flats. Other than that, her primary use is just a debuffer, which is what her kit describes perfectly. HP, I mean not HP, but defense down and attack down. That's a debuffer if you've ever seen one. One day I would like to finish her conviction set just to give her some more resist on it. But other than that, she survives quite fine. I don't really have any complaints about this mon. I use her in Titans. I think that's pretty much it at the moment. Because clan versus clan, I use more nukes. But I think I pretty much use her in Titans at this point in time. Next up is 2 Fire Hades that I've been using as a science project, which should be coming out here pretty soon for you guys to see. But at the moment, they are both on triple attack, so I'll just show one for time's sake. But attack gem with a little bit of crit rate on it, a little bit of recovery, a little bit of HP. Another attack gem with some crit rate on it. And then another attack gem with a little bit of crit rate on it, a little bit of HP on him. So curse scales off of attack. It scales off attack, which is why he has triple attack on him. He is Evo 1. I haven't wasted any gleams on him. Again, this is for a science project coming to a YouTube channel near you soon in the future. But as of right now in Evo 1, he's not very good. I'm not sure if I want to invest gleams on him or his brother over there to get them to Evo 2 to figure out how good they are. But at Evo 1, I mean, nothing's really good at Evo 1 though, so I can't really critique him too hard. But his primary uses, of course, will be for pretty much B10 only. Pretty much B10 only. Again, this is part of a science project, so any comments that you have for Fire Hades will be ignored because you guys need entertainment, and I'm here to provide you guys with entertainment. Next up, we have a Fire Radis over here. He is level 6 Variant Master Race. Not Gem Master Race, but Variant Master Race. I have not used him. He is at level 50. I think I was getting around to building him up, but I got distracted. He's on a incomplete set at the moment, but he's rocking some crit rate, attack. I think I was going to do crit rate attack on him because why not? With that morale boost and predator, what his uses were going to be, I don't know. I can't remember. I can't remember, but maybe one day I'll finish him. Next up is Fire Kira with only 1 gem on her as well. Looks like another mon that I was building, but I just got distracted and never came back to her. Again, she's level 50. Will I use her in the future? Maybe. Maybe. At this point in time, I haven't really considered it because I've already kind of forgotten about her, but that's okay. That's okay, baby girl. Don't worry, your boy Eileo got you. He don't know when, but he has you. Fire Garuda, which I pulled from, I think, Heroes Fest. So if you guys haven't seen the live stream for Heroes Fest from Friday, what was Friday? Friday was August 16th. Definitely check that out. But I pulled him. His use will be for feeding to a Wood Garuda if I ever get a Wood Garuda. If I never get a Wood Garuda, maybe I'll give him to Draka. That's pretty much it. So he's not going to be used. This is the other Fire Arthur that I pulled that I'm thinking about getting to Evo 3 in the future because I like Arthur. And I know some of you guys may be like, Eileo, don't waste your gems on him. Fire Arthur sucks. I know Badass Panda or someone in the live stream was like, Fire Arthur? You mean like F-art? Fart? Don't build a fart. You're going to be like everyone else in their mom building a fart. Well, man, you know what? I want to build a fart because he looks awesome. He looks awesome. The reason why I'm building this one over my other one though is because he does have 2 square slots and a triangle slot. He's not crit reliant, but it's easier building a mon with a square slot, especially if you have a choice in the mons that you're going to choose to build. It's easier to build a mon with a square slot even if they don't require crit because B8 can be done in like 45 seconds. My Golem's B10 team at the moment takes anywhere from like 110 to about 130, so it's just a lot easier to run B8 and get a whole bunch of crap gems and a whole bunch of potentially good gems. But if I do invest into a Fire Arthur Evo 3, it will be him instead of the other one. I'm sorry the other one, but he just came out. I like his squares. I like the way his slots look. They make me happy. Do what you got to do. We have a triple square master race Knuckles over here. He has not been used. I just feed him some of the fruits for the daily quests. Other than that, I don't have any plans for him at the moment. He's just there. Tiger, his plans are to be sacrificed possibly for Benji, possibly for someone else. I don't know yet. I gotta decide. Working on getting a gen to Evo 3. I don't know when that will be, but maybe one day I can get him to Evo 3. I don't really have a predominant use for him even at Evo 3. I could put him on a Siphon set, but I already have other mons on a Siphon set. So maybe just for the Astro Guide, and I'll deposit him for now. Banshee's just being fed, so don't worry about her either. Knuckles, I captured some more Knuckles because I'll be feeding them to Benji, possibly. If not, I might hold out and feed them towards the next Nat 4, depending on what it is. Benji, any Benjis you see in my account reviews will just purely be for the Astro Guide. I don't think I'm going to invest in any of the Benjis because they're not my cup of tea. Not saying they're useless, they're just not my cup of tea. But any Benjis you see, Neza, I'm working on Evo 3 Neza, which is why she's here. Loki will be fed, and then Hana will be fed. But actually, you guys, since this is already 30 minutes into this video, maybe I'll just do each one part by part. That way you guys can look through each individual video part by part and decide which one you want to watch. And it keeps the runtime down. It keeps you guys focused because it's not a super duper long video. But I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, and then I'll record the next segment. And stay tuned for more of Eileo's personal account review, you guys. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.